What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube?
Welcome to my channel.
The life I've been able to live all because of dropshipping has honestly been very insane. But before all the crazy cars and the crazy lifestyle, I was just a broke high school student. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm Digital Ronel, and in this video, I'm pretty much gonna be explaining my story and how I got to where I'm at today. So to kick off the story, let's take a trip all the way back to 2019 where I was just a sophomore in high school, 15 years old. Throughout my middle school and early high school days, I loved the sport of basketball. I played for my school, and that's pretty much what I wanted to do with my life. Like most kids, I had hoop dreams to go play pro, whether overseas or in the NBA. But during my sophomore year, I started to come to realization that my dreams of going pro were very, very slim. And honestly, it was very sad realizing that, I started to think to myself, if it's not basketball, what exactly am I gonna do with my life? I never even wanted to work a real job, and I didn't know exactly what's gonna get me that luxurious life to live. And I didn't want to go to school for 10 years to go be a doctor or a lawyer or something. Now, around that period of time, this is when I really started to wonder exactly what am I gonna do with my life? I literally used to sit in my backyard alone, watching rich lifestyle videos. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that before, but I used to watch these rich lifestyle videos wondering what exactly can I do with my life that can get me a lifestyle that is just like this. And around that age, I was pretty much aware of the rat race. I didn't want to go to college, get a job, and live under a salary, all that kind of stuff, live paycheck to paycheck. And honestly, around that time, I felt like I became a little bit depressed because I was so confused with myself. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and I just kind of started becoming distant towards my friends and my family. But a couple of months go by. It's now around November or so of 2019, and I start getting these thoughts again heavily, and I start to realize that I need to find a way to make money. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go online and start looking for some jobs that I can apply to, maybe work at Walmart or McDonald's or something like that. But right as I decided to go online and start searching for jobs, I had a thought come into my mind, and I decided that I need to look for a way to make money online first and see if I can make money from home. When I was a lot younger online, I used to do those little surveys that pay you, to answer all these questions, and honestly, that was my first thought. I wanted to start getting back onto those surveys and seeing if I can make a couple $100s online from those surveys. So I ended up stumbling across a random YouTube video that was pretty much explaining the top 10 ways to make money online in 2019. I watched through the entire video, and somewhere in his list, he mentioned Shopify dropshipping and eBay dropshipping. And honestly, when he explained the business model of dropshipping, it was literally love at first sight to me. I was literally where has this business been all my life, and I need to start doing this immediately. I don't know what it was about the way it worked, but I just thought it was so smart, and I was wondering why is nobody doing this, or why is nobody talking about this? That is the day where my drop shipping journey began. So for the rest of that night, I just kept on researching exactly about drop shipping. I watched countless videos, and I was just trying to kind of grasp exactly what this business model is and how it works. That same week that I also found out about drop shipping was Thanksgiving break, meaning that I didn't really have to go to school for the next week. Now, the only problem that I faced at that time was I didn't have a single dollar to my name. I didn't even have a bank account. But honestly, I wasn't even gonna let that stop me from getting started. So after a few days of researching and trying to find out if there's a way that I can start with absolutely no money, I found out a way that I can build my website and buy a domain for $0. And honestly, guys, I don't recommend it. I don't even remember how I was able to buy the domain for $0, but I do remember that I wasn't even able to choose a domain name. It was some random generated stuff. But I was such a noob at dropshipping at the time. I didn't even know what product to sell. I didn't even know what a winning product was. And my first ever website was actually some generic bullshit clothing store. I had some random ass clothing item and some jewelry. I think I had some Juice WRLD shirt or something on my store. But now that I think back at it, honestly, that was such a shitty store. And I ended up calling my brand Freestyle Wears. So after I got my website up, it took me a couple of days. It was time to start marketing my product. Now remember, I had absolutely no money to my name, so I had to figure out exactly how I can market my product and bring traffic to my website with no money. So what I did at that time to market my store was I would go to other Instagram streetwear accounts, and I would comment under their posts telling people to check out my Instagram and check out my website. I would also DM the people that like their posts and tell them to do the exact same thing as well. I did that for a couple of days, and honestly, I got a good amount of people to check out my Instagram. A lot of people were following me and all that kind of stuff, but I never really got a single sell off of doing that. So fast forward a couple weeks later, it's Christmas time 2019, and I end up getting around $150 on a prepaid card as a Christmas gift from one of my family members, and I used used that as an opportunity to finally invest in my dropshipping business. So first thing I did was I bought a real domain that was my brand name, and I decided I'm gonna start boosting my posts on Instagram to start bringing real traffic to my website. Around that time, I also did start to understand exactly what a winning product was. So instead of changing my entire store and everything like that, I went ahead and I tried to find a jewelry product that was, a good product to sell. So I didn't want to change up my brand or my store or anything like that. So what I did was I ended up finding a jewelry product that was currently going viral on Facebook and Instagram, which was this little sunflower necklace that kind of like opens up and says, "You are my sunshine." So I began boosting my posts on Instagram about the sunflower necklace. I only had a budget of $10 a day to spend on these Instagram boosts, but the first day that these posts were getting boosted, I ended up getting my first ever dropshipping sale. And as you guys may know, your first ever sale is very, very important, because that's when I finally realized, like, I can actually make money online doing this. If I can get one sale, I can get 10. If I can get 10, I can get 100, and so on. So now I'm motivated than ever. I finally made my first few dollars after about a month of starting this online business, and I ended up going all in on this product, thinking that this product was gonna be the one to get me out the trenches and make me $1 million. After a few days, I ended up upping the budget on my ads, so I started spending more, and I ended up burning through my entire $150 prepaid card, and I only got one single sale. Now, I didn't get discouraged because, I only got one sale and I just spent all the money that I pretty much had. I still had that fire in me to make this work. I knew that I already got one sale and I can still, go crazy. So what I did was I went back to the drawing board. I started researching again. And that's when I came to realization that I need to make a better website and I need to find a better product that people are actually going to want to buy. And back then, my mom used to use Facebook a lot, and she would always get targeted with these dropshipping ads. And one day she showed me this product that she kept on getting on her Facebook feed nonstop, and she said I need to sell it. And basically it was these magnetic eyelashes. I did a little bit more research on the product, and I realized that a lot of women were actually straight up fiending for this product. So I decided I'm gonna build up a one product store on Shopify for it. I built up the store within a few days, but I still had the same problem as before. I was dead broke. So what I did again was I was looking for beauty pages and I was commenting under their posts telling people to check out my store. But what I did differently this time was I made a fake Instagram account as some random lady, and I was looking for videos specifically that were about magnetic eyelashes, and I would comment under these posts telling people that, hey, I just bought these magnetic eyelashes from mystore.com or whatever, and I would tell people to go check it out and buy it from there. Now that actually ended up working. I was getting like 1 to 2 orders every single day off of doing that, but the only problem was it wasn't scalable at all. Instagram started restricting my account from commenting because I was commenting literally all day every day while I'm in school. I'm just boom 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 commenting, and I guess they thought that I was spamming, so they ended up restricting my access to comment on posts. So that method was pretty much no longer available. I started researching on paid advertising and how exactly I can utilize paid advertising with the little budget that I had. And I ended up finding a video that was pretty much like a Facebook ad strategy if you're on a very, very low budget, but it required me to have at least a $500 budget. And at that time, I think I only had around like $250 to my name. So what I did was I decided I'm gonna go ahead and start selling snacks in school to get up to around that $500 budget. I remember that back in middle school, I was selling snacks and I was making probably around like $100 each week from selling snacks. So I went ahead, I started selling snacks again in school, and after about 3 weeks or so, I think I made about $500, and I was finally ready to go ahead and dive into Facebook ads. Next few days, I got right into it. I remember I stayed up all night following the video and the strategy for the Facebook ads, and I ended up launching my first ever actual ads for my brand. And the next day, I remember I woke up to about like 2 or 3 Shopify sales, and I was like, what the heck? And that day, I ended up spending around $30 on ads, but I had made back $120 in sales. So that was my first ever $100 plus day with Shopify dropshipping. So over the next few days, I ended up following the strategy, and every single day I was scaling up, spending more and more and more, and I was actually making more and more and more back. Product was actually very, very profitable. That's when I started to realize that this can actually be something very, very huge. At the time, I was starting to make around $300 to $400 every single day as a 15-year-old student in high school. Now, around this time, it was around March 2020, and I remember spring break was coming up. I was making around like maybe like $400, $500 every single day. And as you guys know what happened around that time when spring break happened, I honestly don't really want to mention it in this video just in case. But the whole thing with the world happened where everything shut down and there was no longer any school till further notice pretty much. Which that honestly made me so happy because I realized that like I can finally put a lot more attention into this business now that I don't actually have to go in person to school. So over the next few weeks, now that I have more time, I started scaling up my store. I started doing around like $700 to $1,000 every single day. I hit my first 1K day. It was so insane. You know, I was like, what the heck? I'm literally 15 years old making $1,000 a day in high school or whatever. But at the same time, it was my first ever time actually making money online. I didn't really know exactly how to maintain this money and how to maintain this business. I had no idea how to hire anybody to help me out with customer service. I was literally spending like 2 hours every single day answering all of my emails, doing all the order fulfillment, talking with the supplier, all that kind of stuff. And on top of that, I wasn't really doing anything else with my business besides that. All day, every single day, I was literally playing Call of Duty Warzone because I was thinking life was sweet. Like imagine you're a 15-year-old making like $1,000 every single day. All you have to do is wake up for like 3 hours, answer a couple of emails, and for the rest of your day, you can play Call of Duty with your friends or whatever. You have no school to go to, you know, just hop on Zoom, you know, put the camera up and act like you're listening to your teacher. You know, I was literally thinking life was so sweet, but that's exactly how you do not want to run your business at all. And I was about to have a rude awakening to that entire thing or whatever. So over the next few weeks of me doing that exact thing every single day, I ended up getting my first ever Facebook ad account ban. So if you don't know, guys, Facebook can ban your account at any single time, which basically means you won't be able to advertise on Facebook any longer and you're pretty much shit out of luck. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got hit with my first ever ban. I didn't know what to do. I was so confused. I tried to appeal it. It didn't even go through. And I was like, damn, you know, I literally went from making $1,000, $2,000 every single day to making nothing. And I started to realize like, okay, I gotta figure out exactly what I need to do. And after another few weeks, I don't remember exactly how, but I got the ad account back. But by the time I got the ad account back, you know, I tried to relaunch these ads. And at that time, I'd probably made around $5,000 or so in profits. And by the time I got that account back, it was already too late. I had a lot more competition and the product pretty much was getting very saturated. I tried to relaunch the ads, but the ads just weren't hitting like they were before. I wasn't as profitable as I was before, and it was like I was breaking even. So before I started losing any more money, I decided to just cut the product off and go ahead and start looking for my next product. I kind of had a little bit more of an understanding of what makes a winning product, so I knew that finding this next product wouldn't really be too hard. Wrong. Over the next 7 months, guys, I kid you not, I probably tested over 100 products and none of them hit. Because that whole time when I was making like 1 to 2K a day with my other store and I was just playing video games all day, I should have actually been actively researching more on dropshipping, learning more, buying a course or whatever, and you know, learning how exactly to scale this product to do even more. But like I said, instead I was just playing video games all day, thinking that I was balling just because, you know, I was making a couple thousand every single day. But during that time, I did end up buying a course and I got into a community where I met other like-minded people, and that kind of helped me, you know, kind of grow a little bit from there. But like I said, I still wasn't finding the winning product. I tested so many products that all the money that I had just made in profit, like I said, it was around $5,000. I pretty much lost everything just testing all these products. And I literally went right back to square one and I had no money. So what I started doing was, my mom was kind enough. She let me borrow her credit cards to continue running ads for products. And I ended up going over $2,000 in credit card debt. So at this time, I'm now 16 years old. I'm negative $2,000 in credit card debt. This is literally where most people would give up. You know, they had some money and they lost it all with dropshipping and they're actually in debt. But me being the person that I am, I'm not a quitter, and I knew that I could bounce back from this harder than ever. And literally when I was on my last few $100s left in credit on this credit card, I had found one more product and I had high hopes in this product only because I really had to have high hopes in this product, because if that product didn't work out, I would have had no more money at all left on the credit card. No more cash or anything like that, and I would have had no way to pay this credit card back. I remember the day that I even found the product, I ended up calling my dad and I was like, Dad, I think this is the one. I feel like this product is gonna be the one to finally start making me money again. Now this is around November 2020. Mind you, it's been months of me testing so many products and none of them made me money. And I'm gonna be honest, I did have thoughts of giving up, but I knew that like, if I gave up on this, what am I gonna do realistically with my life? Like, what else am I gonna do? No other business model really caught my attention. I knew about SMMA, I knew about all these other things, but drop shipping, I just loved it so much, and I knew that I had to make this business work. So with the last few $100s that I had left, I ended up testing the product out, and I remember sitting in school and I started getting sales for this product. I went back to that same low budget testing strategy that I was using, and it was working again. I was seeing results again over just like the first product that I had tested, and it started doing really good. It felt like I was finally back in my groove. I started making a few hundred a day to a few thousand a day. By the time it was December, the whole month of December, I ended up December doing over $20,000 in revenue. That ended up being my best month at that time in sales. So I ended off ending 2020 with a positive month. I went back green. I was no longer in debt. I had a bit of cash on hand as well. Now going into January 2021, everything was going smooth. I was still scaling the store. I wanted to make at least $30,000 to $40,000 on that store for the month of January. But as you guys may know, Facebook, it's not easy to scale that fast. It takes time. Your pixel has to gather data and everything like that. And on top of that, in January, my ad account ended up getting suspended again. And so now I'm starting to realize it's a circle where Facebook is just gonna keep banning my ad account, and I'm like, damn, I really need to move to something else, like a different platform. I tried Snapchat ads, didn't really work. I tried Pinterest ads, it wasn't really working for my product. But I ended up getting another account and I started up running ads again, and I also found another product that was also doing decently as well, which was making me a couple $100s a day. But I really wanted to go from making $10,000 to $15,000 a month to the big numbers, 50K a month, 100K a month, and that's exactly what I was trying to figure out. But then just a few months later, in March 2021, my ad account ends up getting suspended once again, and at this point I'm just fed up with it. But at the same time, that's when I started to hear a lot about TikTok and TikTok advertising. So since my account had ended up getting suspended that last time, I was fed up with Facebook. Like I said, I decided I'm gonna listen to what all these other dropshippers are saying, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop onto TikTok. And that right there ended up being the best decision of my entire life. So for that same brand that was making me around $20,000 a month, I ended up making my own videos on TikTok for the product. I posted it, and I didn't even want to go the organic route of trying to go viral. I just used the videos that I had made and I put them on ads. And I remember the first day that I had launched TikTok ads, it went absolutely crazy. I had like 300 visitors come onto my website at once. I don't know what it was. If you guys were on TikTok ads back in 2021, you know that those were the absolute golden ages where you could literally sell a pencil and you would fucking make so much money. That product, I started taking it to numbers that I've never seen before. I hit my first 3K day ever, and I scaled that product pretty much for the whole rest of the month of March to about $40,000 in revenue. And towards the end of March, I started to realize that it was starting to decline. The sales were starting to, slow down a little bit more. And around that time as well, I also started selling another product on TikTok, which was the Game Boy iPhone case. And as soon as I started selling that product, on the first day, I made $500 or so in revenue, and I pretty much knew that that product was a banger. So what my game plan and what I heard a lot of other people talking about was any old previous winning product that was on Facebook, if you just transfer it to TikTok ads, it'll just crush. So I started thinking of so many old winning products. That Game Boy iPhone case was an old winning product from Facebook, and like I said, I decided to bring it onto TikTok. I was one of the first people to bring it on TikTok. I just went absolutely crazy. First week, I scaled that product to doing over $5,000 a day. Now this is where I start to make like tens of thousands of dollars every single day. As I'm scaling that Game Boy iPhone case, I find another product and I start selling that product as well. And that product starts going crazy. It starts making like 7K a day within its first week of selling. So now I have the Game Boy iPhone case making me about $5,000 a day to about $8,000. I have the other product making me about like $7,000 to $8,000 as well. Then at that time, I decided to do another product. I don't even remember which product it was. But anyways, I start selling another product. I even have a screenshot where I showed all of my sales. I had like each store was making at least 4K a day. I feel like everything was working out in my favor. I wasn't even going to school around that time. I mean, I was still doing online school, but I didn't have to go in person. So I was literally putting all of my time and focus onto my stores. That's why I was able to scale 3 stores at once. Like, that's absolutely insane to be able to focus on 3 different stores and scale them all the way up to about $5,000 and so a day. But I ended up doing that throughout the whole month of April. And then in May, I found another product that ended up being my first ever life-changing product. So if you don't know what a life-changing product is, a life-changing product is pretty much the product that kind of changes your life. You know, it's a product that makes you more money than you've ever made from any of your other products. I found that product somewhere around the beginning of May, and the first day I started selling that product, I made $1,000 in revenue. I knew immediately that this product was going to be absolutely insane. I started scaling up that product. I literally went from 1K a day to like 5K a day to 10K a day to like 20K a day. I think I peaked that product at like 25K a day, and I ended up ending off May with over $200,000 in revenue just from that product alone. And that was my first ever product to make me over $100,000 in profit just off of that product alone. And also summer had just started, so I had all the time in the world to focus on my stores. I scaled up multiple other stores as well that summer. And that was literally my grind time. I didn't go out, I didn't do nothing. I was literally all day, every single day, staying up to like 4 a.m. just working on my computer, and I was making so much money. I mean, and it felt good because each morning I would wake up, I would check my bank account, and it's a new number. It just grew every single day. But then summer ended and school came back around, and there was no longer an option to stay home and do online school. And now this is my senior year of high school. As you know, senior year could be the hardest year of high school. You got to start applying to colleges. You got so many SAT tests, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of knew that going into this senior year of high school that I was going to face a little bit of challenges trying to focus on school and trying to focus on my business. And that's exactly what happened. It was very, very challenging. I mean, going into senior year was okay. You know, I was still running up my stores and trying to focus on school. And on top of failing all of my classes, I wasn't even going to school most of the time. Sometimes I would just drive up to school and just chill in the parking lot and just work on my business. But it got to a point where the school started contacting my parents and letting them know that I'm on the verge of not even graduating because of how bad my grades were and how bad my attendance to school was. So obviously, like any parent would, my parents got on my ass and they told me that I need to start putting more focus into school so I can graduate. And even myself, I wanted to graduate too. I didn't want to have to do another year of high school. And I realized that I'm gonna have to kind of slow down on the business a little bit so that I can focus on finishing high school and then just be done with school in general. So that's exactly what I did. And for the whole pretty much first and beginning of the second semester of high school, I wasn't really doing anything with my stores. I was just kind of focusing on getting by with school and trying to bring my grades back up and everything like that. But on a good note, around that time is when I moved my family out of the trenches, I guess you could say, and I helped my mom put a down payment on her dream house pretty much, which I'm currently in right now. So imagine that, being a senior in high school, 17 years old, and you help your mom purchase her dream home, which honestly, that was like an amazing feeling. All the work that I had literally put in that previous summer, you know, I was able to, you know, put some of the funds into helping my mom, you know, be happy and get her dream home and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, back to the story. So after a couple of months of me just getting by and focusing on school, it was now around March 2022, and I realized that I need to get back into dropshipping and start focusing more. You know, I kind of brought my grades up a little bit more. I got accepted into some colleges. I don't know what it was about my school, but a requirement for me to graduate was to get accepted into a 4-year college. So I had to get my grades up and all that kind of stuff and apply to a 4-year school and get accepted, which I ended up doing. And as soon as I got accepted into that school, I was like, all right, I'm done with focusing on school. I'm gonna start focusing back on my business. And that's exactly what I started doing. I got back to looking for products in March, and literally after just a few weeks of looking for products, I found my second ever life-changing product, which I'm pretty open about this brand. It was the Cloudy Sharks shark slippers. So you guys have probably seen the shark slippers all over TikTok. I'm the one that pretty much started that entire trend and pretty much made it to what type of product it is today. But anyways, I found that product just scrolling on, you know, one of my product research tools, and I knew that this product could be big. I started doing organic on it, and since I was in school, I was like, let me just kind of take advantage of me being in school for my business. So I started making videos of the shark slides in school, and pretty much one of the videos ended up going crazy viral, and I literally went from zero to making like $20,000 a day organically on that store just from me making videos in school. So imagine that every single day you walk into school, you're making $20,000 a day off of some silly shark slippers. But I was running up that product in high school, making crazy bread. Fun fact, on prom night, I literally made $30,000 off of those shark slippers, which is absolutely insane. But I ended up graduating high school just a few months later in May, and this is where I feel like my life actually began. I mean, just a few weeks after graduating, I turned 18. I bought my first car ever in cash, which was a Mercedes-Benz, and I moved out to a high-rise apartment at just 18 years old. Now, I was still running up the shark slide store. It was still going absolutely crazy. Now it's even summertime, and a lot more people even want the product, and by the time it was around like June or July, I had already made around $500,000 in revenue off of shark slides. Now remember, this is all organic, which means it was all about 60% profit margins. But honestly guys, like I said, dropshipping is not all sunshine and rainbows. The product started declining after a while, and I started declining as well. I got burnt out of making these videos every single day, and honestly I just started moving on into different stores. You know, I just started building up different things. I wasn't really focusing on this one, and I ended up just selling that store by the end of the year for over $150,000. But before I even sold it, I had already made around $1 million in revenue just off of that product alone. Now you may be wondering, okay, if you made $1 million off that store, why did you only sell it for $150,000? Well, by the time I was selling it, the store was already kind of declined. Like I said, I was burnt out. I wasn't really doing too much off the store, and I kind of just wanted to get the store off my hands, so I just kind of sold it for whatever. After I had sold that store going into 2023, this is when I realized that I've pretty much done a lot with dropshipping, and I kind of wanted to start helping a lot of people out. I started getting a lot of people coming into my DMs asking for help, and I had no way of helping people, and I always really kind of did want to help people out, but I just never really had the time to do it. But I had a lot of free time now. So heading into 2023, I still had my stores on the side, but I started getting a lot more into helping people out start their dropshipping stores and scale their stores. And by February 2023, I made an entire dropshipping course on how to start dropshipping from scratch and scale it A to Z. And that's exactly when I started my community, Digital Ventures, as well. And as you may know already, Digital Ventures in my community has been a complete success over the past year. I have over 15,000 students in my community, and I have a bunch of students crushing it right now. It's absolutely insane. I'm honestly very happy with what I've built up. And so now I pretty much just have my stores on the side, and I help out students scale their stores. I don't know, to me, it just makes me happy knowing that I'm helping change people's lives. I'm helping people that were pretty much in my position back in 2019 and 2020, helping them get to where they need to be and pretty much be successful. But that's pretty much it with my story, guys. I hope I motivated you and inspired you guys to go out there and maybe start or keep going, whatever it is. But if you like this video, guys, go ahead, leave a like, comment down below, follow me on Instagram. I'll have it right here and inside of the description. I'll see you guys in the next video.